Hey guys, what's going on? This is Joshua Elder with another video for you today. I want to talk about how I make money online. I want to talk a little bit more about my story and how I was able to succeed, on the internet. So I hope you're excited for this video as excited as I am for making it. Give me a like if you're excited for it. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And let's go ahead and let's dive into it. What do you say? So I want to go back about 10 years ago when I was in high school and I was about to graduate and go off to college. And for some reason, I don't know what instilled this sort of way of looking at life for me, but I was always somebody that was very observant. I was more of an observer than a consumer of life. So I would ask crazy questions like, why is the sky blue? Why, is that person unhappy? Why, I'd go to church, right? And I'd ask myself, well, if this person's unhappy, is it a flaw in the church system or is it a flaw in the human being? Do you go to work for 40 to 60 years just to retire? Who invented this way of life? Is that how life needs to be? So I'd ask myself these kinds of questions and I'd get some pretty profound answers. And I was always somebody, I guess, that really thought outside the box, but I didn't really know what to do with it all, right? All I knew was I wanted more in my life. I didn't want to be a part of the status quo. I didn't want to conform to what everybody else was doing. And so that's when I started online. So, if you're somebody that's brand new to the internet and you're looking for a way to build an income, or maybe you're looking for a way to scale your business, hey, you are in the right place. If your beliefs about how life should be is based around the fact that you should be able to travel the world, you should be able to live your perfect day every day, you're in the right channel, because here in our community, I empower people to take their passions, find their purpose, and use that to create an income out of it. Okay, so when I graduated from high school, I went off to college because I knew that's kind of what my friends did. I was still kind of conforming, even though I was asking myself these questions in the back of my mind. And so I went off to college. I actually played baseball down south here in southern Utah. Of course, I'm from Salt Lake City, born and raised here. So I went down south to play baseball, and I played for about a semester. Right? And I just realized that, number one, I was burnt out from playing my whole entire life. I played on Super League teams, expansion teams from age 8. And I was just at a place where I was burnt out. And plus, they didn't really have the major that I wanted to go into. And so I decided to come back up north, continue going to community college. And that's kind of sort of the transition phase of when I really dove deeper into the internet. And when I first graduated from high school, I kind of dipped my toe in the water, became familiar with the basics of, building a business online, but I truly didn't see that it was possible for me. This was back in 2006, by the way, and people were making money online. You saw like screenshots of commission checks and people with their fancy cars and fancy houses, and that really hasn't changed much since then. But I really didn't believe that it could happen for me. But I knew that the internet was something. I knew it was going somewhere. I knew that the old ways of doing business were going to become obsolete. And so what did I do? I kind of stuck with it. And the way that I did that is I ended up, number one, I went off and tried some random jobs. Like I tried doing door-to-door sales. And I sold alarm systems actually in like Southside Chicago for a summer. I quit that early. I came back like after a month and a half, and it just wasn't for me. Could I adapt myself into becoming a door-to-door salesman? Yeah, I probably could, but the stuff that I was learning online about like attraction marketing and building these little capture pages and attracting leads to you was very intriguing to me, because I wanted to give people what they were already searching for. Right? I wanted to give people what they wanted instead of forcing some opportunity or some product down their throat. And so with door-to-door sales, I realized that I'm like, okay, I can make a lot of money doing this. I can play the numbers game, but there's got to be a better way. And so I ended up coming back home. I ended up getting into like network marketing, I saw a triangle on a whiteboard at one of those hotel meetings. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be rich. All I need is like 2 people, and they just need to get 2 people, and they'll get 2 people 1,000 levels down, and I'll be rich. And unfortunately, like if you've been in network marketing, it doesn't work out that way. It looks great on paper, but it just does not. It does not, the numbers don't work, right? You realize that you get attrition, you talk to your friends and family, you exhaust your warm list, your warm market, you lose friends in the process. Heck, you might lose family members in the process. And then you're like, okay, what's next? This is a flawed business. Not necessarily a flawed business, but it's going to take a ton of work. And again, I don't want to go to shopping malls. I don't want to prospect. I want to attract people to me. There's got to be a better way. So I kept thinking outside the box. I ended up, after trying these different multi-level marketing companies, I ended up working for a large jewelry chain, and I did jewelry sales. So I guess I was always kind of in and out of sales, but I stuck with this job for about 8 years. I started as a sales associate, then I went to department manager, and then eventually an assistant manager. And I did this for 8 years, and I was like, okay, I know this is just a means to an end. I know this isn't what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. I don't want to be at the beck and call of a boss breathing down my neck, telling me when I can show up, when I can leave, that I got to work weekends and I got to work 40 to 70 hours a week, sometimes like 70 hours a week during the holidays. And so that's when I dove deeper into online marketing. That's when the pain really started to set in. And I started just buying a bunch of different products, one after another, after another, after another. Went down the rabbit hole of jumping from thing to thing and dealing with shiny object syndrome after shiny objects, syndrome. And so the thing is, though, is I didn't quit. I kept my faith strong. I knew it was possible. I started getting into personal development. I started learning more about myself. I started learning that success in life and in anything isn't about tactics, but it's about what's between the ears. It's about mindset. It's about belief and building the right belief systems and getting rid of beliefs that don't serve you. And so I began growing. I began developing myself more and more and more. And so all these trials, all these failures that I was going through was setting me up for success, which was pretty cool. I didn't realize it at the time. But as I kept learning more, I kept sort of coming back around and coming across search engine optimization. I don't know if you're familiar with what that is, but it's the idea of ranking websites and even videos at the top of Google search engine. And I thought it was pretty cool because, again, instead of prospecting and cold calling and knocking on doors and doing all these things that I was doing, I could literally attract somebody based off of what they were searching for, in the search bar in Google. So I can simply give people what they already wanted. And I'm like, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. And so I really sold myself on that idea because there was so much pain in trying to find the solution of being able to find a product that somebody that was already searching for, and I didn't have to be some sleazy, slimy salesman. I could just simply give it to them. And so that's when I said, this is the thing. And I finally dove deep into not jumping from opportunity to opportunity, but finally building a skill set. You see, that's the key. The success is not an opportunity. The success is in a skill set. And so I started building this skill set, and I started just creating these little mini websites. And I remember it was like April 2012 is when it was. And I had like 80 websites ranked in the search engines. And I remember going to work, and during like my lunch break, and sometimes when it wasn't busy, I'd log on to either my cell phone or the computer to see my stats and see how much money I was making from these websites. And I got to a point where I was almost making like $100 a day. And then literally overnight, I lose all my rankings, right? I lose everything. And I was like, man, I was just about to succeed. I was just about to break through. I was just about to fire my boss and quit and walk out the door. And then this happens. And so that was my first experience in realizing that entrepreneurship isn't like a one and done thing. Like, it's not this destination. It's constantly having to adapt to changes in the market. And so the cool thing is because I built the right belief systems, I didn't quit. I kept going. It was another learning lesson. Because as I learned more and more of these lessons, life actually became easier, right? And it was December 2012. After losing, all my rankings on my websites, pretty much losing my income, I came across an email from a list that I subscribed to, and I watched this video of this kid, and he was talking about, this kid would look like he was a teenager, right? He was talking about how he's making like $500 to $1,000 a day. And at that point, of course I'd made a little bit of money through ranking websites and doing like things like CPA offers, doing like promoting ClickBank offers. And I was making okay money, but it wasn't like life changing. I realized that I really had to create a lot of content. I had to duplicate the proven strategy over and over and over again, like 1,000 times over, to be able to really like quit my job. And it was just a lot of work. But he was talking about how, again, he was making a $500 to $1,000 a day with this specific program. And it was a program that was like a high ticket program, which means like low ticket is typically anywhere between, $1 all the way up to like maybe $200. And then high ticket is probably in the range of $300 to like tens of thousands of dollars, right? And so he revealed to me this system that was kind of like the solution to my problems, because I lost all these rankings on my websites. I wasn't making a whole lot of money because I was making money through like Google AdSense, which is basically, I was making money through these little advertisements, and I was doing some ClickBank stuff. And typically most ClickBank products, ClickBank is basically a marketplace that just houses a bunch of affiliate products. It's kind of like an Amazon for digital products, and you can make some decent commissions, but they're lower ticket products. And so I was one of those people that was like grinding away promoting low ticket products and not making a whole lot of money. And then I was introduced to high ticket, but the problem with high ticket is I had to invest more money to be able to relicense these products and like resell them, right? And so at first I joined this program, but I didn't upgrade because I'm like, this thing's not going to work. This thing is not going to work. Like, people are claiming, like, that are in the program, some of the leaders, that like people are paying for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 products. And I'm like, there's no way. And so one of the things that I did notice though about my mentor at the time, the guy that I had joined, is that he took the same concepts from like ranking websites in Google, and he transitioned that over to kind of to YouTube with videos, because video marketing was starting to become really, really popular, and YouTube was still kind of unknown. It was like really untapped. And he was making all this money from YouTube, ranking videos instead of websites. And so I kind of broke down his formula, and I'm like, okay, well, if he's claiming he's making this much money, what do I have to lose? I'm going to suspend disbelief, and I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to try it. And so from January to about March, I just started cranking out content. I started making videos. And by April, I had actually upgraded finally. He convinced me, Josh, trust in the process, right? I don't know if you've heard the saying that systems don't fail, people do. And so he's like, you need to learn to trust in the system, trust in the process. What do you have as far as resources? I'm like, I got like $1,000 on my credit card. And so what I did is I ended up upgrading to the $1,000 level. What was pretty cool at the time is I could actually earn 100% commissions too as well. And so what happened was April 2013, I looked at my autoresponder. If you don't know what an autoresponder is, don't worry. But I was looking at my autoresponder, and I noticed that I was getting leads, right? I was getting like 30 to 50 leads a day, which is like incredible. And I started seeing sales coming in. I started getting 1 to 2 sales a day. And then later, towards the end of April, I think I remember the exact day, it was like April 28th, I got my first $1,000 commission. Changed my life completely. I realized right there and then that there's no difference in effort of making a $50 commission and making a $1,000 commission. And then I'm thinking, like, I'm working at this day job. And I'm like, holy crap. This takes me weeks to make this money. I just made it in a day. And so my belief system just expanded. But I had to suspend disbelief, right? I had to trust in the process. And so by December 2013, I ended up making more working part-time on my internet business than I did full-time at my job. And I was working like 70 hours a week because it was during Christmas in a jewelry store. It was retail, and it was crazy, and it was hectic. And that was a turning point. By 2014, I ended up quitting my job. And I used attraction marketing and YouTube video marketing to change my life completely. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I ended up traveling. I've been to Colombia. I stayed there for a few months. I've been to around South America, Panama, across the United States, Florida. I've been to the UK. I've spoken on stages. And this business has completely changed my life. So if you're somebody that's looking to grow your current business, you're somebody that's just starting online, stay tuned because I got a lot of cool content lined up for you. And if you want to get access to that content, I'll put a link below in the description. Like this video. If you enjoyed this video, again, subscribe, comment below. Are you somebody that's brand new? Let me know if you're brand new. Let me know what business you have if you have a business. And I'm looking forward to diving deeper in how I'm using attraction marketing, how I'm using the affiliate marketing business model. And that's typically the business model that I've used. So you can feel free to go and check out clickbank.com. I always encourage people kind of to start there, to get their feet wet, to get an idea of how affiliate marketing works. But again, we're going to dive deeper into the mental stuff. We're going to dive deeper into the how-to, the strategies, how to like leverage YouTube, all that good stuff. So whether you're growing a business, whether you want to start a business, we're going to help you do that, okay? So with that said, this is Josh Elder signing off. I hope you got value from this video, and we'll talk to you guys in the next video. Take care.